There it is. All right, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show, which used to be called the And I Quote Morning Show. Now we're just going to call it Self-Love Is. This is episode number 78 of the morning show. If you haven't been with me before, every weekday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, we go live and we just give you a healthy breakfast, some energy, some positive energy to get your day started. So today we're going to talk about self-love a little bit, right? So let's get the definition first, right? What the book definition is. It says regard for one's own well-being, right? Regard for one's own well-being and happiness, right? That's simple enough, right? Regard for my own happiness, my own well-being. Pretty simple. Now, it's interesting because the dictionary adds a little caveat in parentheses. It says chiefly considered as a desirable rather than a narcissistic characteristic. Ooh, that was vicious for my list, but I did good with that too. So it says chiefly considered as a desirable rather than narcissistic characteristic. So why is it important to highlight that? Why did you think some intelligent person said, I need to make sure I distinguish that? Because most of us are taught that caring for ourselves a little too much puts us on the side of arrogance or conceit or narcissism, right? And narcissism simply defined is I only care about my own well-being, right? It doesn't say that. I only have regard for my own well-being and happiness. And that's not what we're talking about. This is actually totally opposite of that. So let's go a little further. So that's the simple definition. Let's take the definition a little further. Self-love is a state of appreciation for yourself that grows from taking actions that are in your own best interest. That's the Reese mix. Oh, not the remix, the Reese mix. Now I did coin that one, so y'all don't try to steal that one, right? That's the Reese mix version of that, right? A state of appreciation for yourself that grows from taking actions that are in your own best interests, right? So let's break that down for a moment. I think that this is an important place to kind of put a pin, right? So a state of appreciation for yourself. So think about the people and the things and the places that you appreciate, right? Don't you handle them a certain way, right? Don't you look at them through a particular lens, right? Don't you extend certain courtesies, right, to people that you appreciate? So what I'm proposing this morning, right, in regards to self-love is that, we learn to live in a constant state of appreciation for ourselves. And it's like, yeah, that sounds good, but you don't know my history. You don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know. Well, let's talk about that a little bit, right? In fact, let's finish unpacking it. How do we get to that state? Because if we desire to live in that state, right? A state of appreciation for ourselves, how do we get there? Because that's what I'm about. I'm about how do I get from where I am to where I desire to be, right? How do I get from where I am to where I desire to be? And if I desire to live in a constant state of appreciation for myself, how do I do that? Well, the second half of the Reese mix says it grows, right? I develop that. The pathway from where I am to that constant state of appreciation for myself is developed through actions, right, that are in my own best interest. When I think thoughts that are in my own best interest, right? When I'm on my own side, when I'm my biggest cheerleader, right? When I speak words that are in my own best interest, right? When I speak words that inspire and encourage and uplift myself, right? That's the way forward to developing that self-love, right? To getting to that constant state of appreciation for myself. So I have to actually do things. I have to actually take actions that are in my own best interest, right? And whatever that looks like to each of us individually, that's absolutely fine. There's no cookie cutter way to make this happen, but the general rule that I'm proposing this morning is that we live in a constant state of appreciation for ourselves. How do we do that? By taking actions, right, that are in our own best interests. Just think about that for a moment. Think about something. Let's think about someone outside of yourself, someone that you want to see win, right? Think about that. If there's someone in your life that you want to see win, if there's a significant other, a child, whoever it might be, whoever comes to mind right now, right? You're going to handle them in a particular way. You're going to do what you can to set them up for success, right? You're going to think about them in an empowering and encouraging way. You're going to speak life into them, right? You're going to push them to pursue whatever is best for them, right? Not what's best for me, because that's selfish, but what's best for them. And so if that's the case, and then I'm going to help them out, right? If they need me over here, I'm going to step over here. If they need me over here, I'm going to step over here. Why? Because that's in their best interest. And so again, my proposal to you this morning is, what about taking actions, right, that are in your own best interest, right? What about pursuing that level of self-love, that constant state of appreciation for yourself, right? And that's the way forward. That's the way to do it. So we don't have to, I like to say, you don't have to build a city. We don't have to do this huge, ginormous thing. What we can simply do is begin to think about ourselves, right, in a kind manner. Extend certain courtesies, extend the same courtesies to you that you extend to people who you love and care about, who you want to see become great, who you want to see happy, right? Imagine that. Imagine if we extended ourselves those same courtesies. That'd be a phenomenal state, right? So here it is, right? Here's something that comes to mind when I think about this, right? A lot of times, especially if you don't have people that are directly connected to you that understand what self-love looks like, right? I package that very, very particularly, right? And you'll see why in a moment. So here's what I want to say. Being pro-me does not make me anti-you. Say that again. Me being pro-me does not make me anti-you. And a lot of times, right? Me being for me does not make me against you. And oftentimes we struggle here, right? Because when we begin to move and think and take actions and think thoughts and speak words that are in our own best interest, those close to us take offense, as if me being for me somehow makes me against you. Now, why does that happen? Because when I'm pro-me, when I'm for me, when I begin to prioritize my wants and needs, right? When I begin to regard my own well-being and happiness, right? When I begin to pursue a constant state of appreciation for who I am, right? For myself, what that does is that makes me a little less available for you, right? Perhaps I was a people pleaser right here in front of you, right? And now, because I'm the people I want to please now. And now, right, where I was Johnny on the spot for you while abandoning me, now I'm saying, wait a minute, I no longer want to abandon me. Now I'm going to move in my own favor, right? I'm going to step into, I'm going to make choices. I'm going to take actions that are in my own best interest because I want to live in a state of appreciation for me. I'm learning to love and appreciate me. And one of the things I learned, I remember I was visiting someone in the hospital, and I've shared this before many times, but it's so impactful for me, and hopefully it helps someone. So the hospital was under construction. You had to kind of navigate through some things, and it was a little rough. And there was a sign at the elevator that changed my life. It said, "Pardon our progress." I don't even know what it said after that, because "Pardon our progress" was just like, wow, that's it. So, right, as you're learning to be team you, right, as you're learning to be for you, as you're learning to take actions that are in your own best interest, right, and live in that constant state of appreciation for you, if it ruffles some feathers, just tell them lovingly, "Pardon my progress," right? But, I know I was there for you every time, but I wasn't there for me, and I'm learning how to be there for me. If you're comfortable, "Pardon my progress" may be enough, especially when you're figuring it out. But as you navigate through, you'll be able to explain. You'll be able to put a little extra on it so that they can hopefully understand. If they don't, that's none of your business. That's another conversation, right? But so being for me does not make me against you. Does not put me against you. Being pro me does not make me anti you, right? So That it's very, very important that we understand that, because a lot of us, and I see your comment, Melissa, thank you. She says, I feel like we're programmed to think that self-love makes us selfish. And we are. We're programmed, and we program ourselves. That's how we move, right? And so again, what I'm proposing now is that we learn to love ourselves. We learn to prioritize ourselves, right? So let's take it a step further. So self-love is about taking care of your own needs, right? And not sacrificing your well-being to please others, right? That's what that's about. So, and I'm not, when I'm saying, when I'm proposing that you learn to love yourself on a deeper level, I'm not telling you to abandon others, abandon your responsibilities, right? Self-love is not an excuse to neglect your responsibilities, right? Self-love, it means you take care of your needs, and you stop sacrificing your well-being to please other people. Many of us are in places where, we're miserable. We're in this chaotic state, but we're checking everyone else's boxes. And then after we do that, we're drained, and then we have nothing left for ourselves. And then when we live in that cycle, what happens there is there's not enough of us to go around, and then we're constantly drained, and then we're upset, we're frustrated, we're not pursuing our best, right? We're not making it happen. We're not getting after it in the way that we could and should, because we're going about things incorrectly. We just have prioritized everyone else, right? And then we're getting the scraps. What I'm proposing is this, right? Prioritize you. And what happens when you prioritize you, now your cup is full. We've all heard you can't pour from an empty cup, but yet that's what we try to do every day. That's what we try to do because of the expectations, right? That's what we try to do because of the things that we've experienced. That's what we try to do because of, to your point, the way that we've been programmed. That's what we try to do because of, because we want to be loved, right? We want to feel that. And what we do is, we don't understand that we can fill our own cup, right? That's the most important relationship that needs our investment, is our relationship with ourselves. But that's not something that we're taught. So we want to go, we want to do, we want to give, we want to please everybody else, in thinking that that's going to fill us up, but that actually just continuously drains us. And then there's nothing left for us. And then we get stuck in that cycle, and that's a painful, ugly place to be. And a lot of times we point fingers, because I give, I'm Johnny on the spot for everybody, and I do, and I give, and I'm gonna give it. Yes, you are all of that. But you do all of that. You are all of that. You embody all of that. You're a giver. You are a phenomenal individual, but you forgot to give to you. You forgot to invest in you. You're fully invested in everyone else, but you forgot to invest in you. And now you're drained, and now you're frustrated, and now you're upset with me. I didn't do it. I just showed up, and I just made myself available to receive all of that phenomenal love and all of that amazing energy that you give out. So we can't blame anybody else. This is on us. We have to take responsibility for this. And that's what I'm proposing this morning, that we take responsibility, right? We take responsibility for taking care of our own needs and not sacrificing ourselves, right, to please other people. Am I saying become selfish? Of course not. What I'm saying is, when you fully invest in you, when you do everything you need to do to check those particular boxes, when you learn to love on yourself, when you live in a constant state of appreciation for yourself, when you take actions that are in your own best interest, everyone wins. Everyone connected to you wins, because now my cup is full. So I'm a better man. So I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. When your cup is full, you're a better woman. You're a better wife. You're a better mother. Whatever hats you wear, right? You're 100 times better in your role, because now your cup is full. You're not pouring from a half-empty cup. So that's what I'm proposing with self-love, right? Self-love, and I want to stress this point, right? Because people might hear a piece of this, and self-love is not an excuse to neglect your responsibilities. Self-love is actually what we need to lean more heavily into so that we can become more responsible, right? The more I invest in me, the more of me there is to go around to invest in those that I need to invest in, right? That's the piece that I believe we understand, right? Self-love, right, is a demand on you not to neglect yourself. That's what self-love is, right? It's not an excuse to neglect your responsibilities. In fact, it's a demand on you, right? It's a demand on you not to neglect yourself, right? The same way you're fully committed, right, to those people and places that you're responsible for, right? Those places that you will not miss the mark over here. You will make sure your baby's okay. You will make sure your husband, wife, child, whoever, wherever it is, they're okay. Self-love is not neglecting you, right? Self-love is making sure that it's not putting yourself on the chopping block. I say this all the time. Why am I always the one on the chopping block? If something needs to be sacrificed, why is it always me? I don't believe that that's correct. I believe that if I'm fully invested in me, right, then there's more of me to go around. Then I don't actually need to make sacrifices. Then I can make quality decisions to ensure that I'm okay and that everyone I'm connected to and everyone I'm responsible for serving is okay, right? Because I'm not pouring from an empty cup. But when I neglect my needs, right? When I neglect the things that make me happy, the things that fill my cup up, and now I'm pouring from what exactly? What I'm giving you is essentially scraps. So I know you're out here giving, you're pouring, and you're doing all of this, but is that the best of you? It's you, it's what you've been presenting, but is that really the best of you? And I'll challenge anyone. Is that really the best of you? When I'm not invested in me and I'm giving a percentage of what I have, is that the best of me? Don't I want to show up as the best of me? Don't I want to give those connected to me the best of me? Don't I want to be the best husband I can be? So how do I do that? By showing up with a half empty cup, or by making sure my cup is full? And then I can love the way that she deserves and desires and needs to be loved, right? What about parenting? Like, we can go anywhere we want to go with this, right? But the key is that we have to stop neglecting ourselves, right? So that's kind of a little bit of insight as to what self-love is. And so today, let's lean into one thing real quick before I bail, right? Self-love is our is for today, right? Eric, my guy, good morning. Our is, right? Our self-love is for this morning is self-love is not settling for less than your best, right? That's our is this morning, right? Give me 1 second. Self-love is not settling for less than your best. That's what self-love is. Give me 1 second over here. Let me see if I'm missing any comments, and looks like I'm not. Boom, boom. All right, had to check Facebook because I can't see the comments. I'm gonna figure that out though. So self-love is, I like that. Today's is not settling for less than your best. Not settling for less than your best, right? Think about it for a moment. Think about it. The people that you love, the people that you care about, right? Don't you want what's best for them? Right? Don't you want what's best for them? Of course you do, right? Of course you do. Yeah, you absolutely want what's best for them. Those that you love, those that you're connected to, right? You want what's best for them. And what I'm saying is, want what's best for you. That's what I'm proposing this morning. I want you to want what's best for you, right? I want us to stop settling for less than our absolute best. Good morning, good morning. I want us to stop settling for anything less than our best. So the same way we're fully invested, right, in the growth, right? We're fully invested in other people, in their happiness, in their joy, right? In positioning them for success. I'm saying we need to be fully invested in ourselves as well. Well, what does that look like, right? What does that look like? Okay, here's what that looks like, right? Moment to moment, right? We need to make decisions that are in our own best interests, right? And again, this is not from a selfish place at all. And if that's what you're hearing, I need you to remove that old garbage filter because it's keeping you small, right? What I'm proposing is that when you're fully invested in you, and when you don't settle for anything less than your best, what that means is moment to moment, the choices that you make are going to be choices that empower you, right? And not choices that keep you small. You're not going to allow fear to stop you. You're not going to allow discouragement to stop you. You're not going to allow anyone or anything to keep you from moving in the direction that you know you need to move. Why does that matter? Because if I love myself, then I'm always going to have regard for my own happiness and well-being. And when I'm okay, then there's more of me to give out. There's more of me to distribute. There's more of me to distribute, right? But if I'm not full, if I'm not making choices that are in my own best interest, think about this for a moment. Just think about it. If you knew that I consciously made choices, right, that weren't in my own best interest, that I consciously counted myself out of the race before the race even started, that I consistently and consciously did not invest in myself, am I someone you'd want to be connected to? Of course not. If we put it on paper like that, of course not. But yet, many of us, most of us, that's how we show up. We show up and we say, all right, I'm here. And I'm here and I'm here to serve, but I'm not going to take care of me. Well, do I even want you to? Just think about that for a moment, right? And it can go through a lot of twists and turns. But the point that I want to make is we have to stop settling for less than our best, right? Think about it, right? So the people that we care about, we want to see them win, right? The people that we care about, we want to. It makes us happy when they make choices that are in their own best interest, right? When my man Eric when I see Eric doing his thing, when I see him post that he booked another gig, or when he posts a clip from something that he's doing, or when we have a conversation and he tells me about something that he's working on as a strategy, I get excited. I want to clap. I clap for him. I get excited. He's constantly in my prayers because he's getting after it. He's putting his best foot forward. And that's what we desire for people, right? But we have to desire that for ourselves. And often we don't desire that for ourselves, right? We constantly, consistently neglect ourselves, right? And then it's like, well, why? Well, why is that? Someone said that's how we're programmed. Someone else said that, we're taught that self-love is selfish. Absolutely. Those are some of the things that we're taught. So how do we flip that, right? Or what's under that? What's buried under that? A part of what's buried under that is we don't recognize our value. Imagine 10, 20, 30, 40, however old you are. Imagine all those years of putting yourself last, right? Are you going to see the value in you? Do you see the value in something that you put on the back burner? Do you see the value in something that you're so willing to just be dismissive of? Do you see the value in that? Of course not. So if I live my entire life, right, with the rules that say I have to put me last, of course, my personal value, the way that I see myself, right, my self-worth, I'm not going to be fully invested in that. I'm not going to see my value. And many of us, that's our biggest challenge, right? And of course, I'm first partaker, right? All those years of self-sacrifice leaves you in a place where you don't see your value. So if you don't see the value in a thing, are you going to invest in the thing? Of course not, right? Of course not. I don't see the value in these. Why would I invest in those, right? It's just a piece of plastic, it's junk. But when I see the value in it, now I look at it through a different lens and I handle it differently, right? I make decisions or I speak about it in a way. I think about it in a certain way, right? I handle it a certain way. But when I don't see the value, it's just junk, right? Like I don't see the value. Like what is this? This is junk, right? This is just junk. I just toss it. But if I really, really thought this was valuable, oh, I'd have a carrying case for it, right? I'd have a cool little cloth to keep it clean and take care of it, right? I'd handle it differently, right? I put it on the top shelf so only I can reach it, right? I don't want the children or the grandbabies to get to it, right? I'll handle it differently. So think about ourselves, right? We don't handle ourselves carefully. We're not careful with ourselves. Can I boldly say that we abuse ourselves? Abuse simply means misuse. Yes, so I can say that. We abuse ourselves because we misuse ourselves. We have gifts and talents that we don't tap into because we don't see our value, because we've been neglecting ourselves. We've been pushing ourselves to the back, right? For years and years and years and years, right? So we have to learn how to increase that value, right? We have to, and how do we do that, right? Through taking actions. Through taking actions that are in our own best interest, through thinking thoughts that are in our own best interest. And when we think thoughts that are against us, we have to challenge those thoughts. And how do we develop that? And I'm going to close right here. I'm going to close with this, right? Self-love is developed through actions, right? That's what we established earlier in the remix, right? A state of appreciation that grows from taking actions that are in our own best interest. So I want to take actions that are in my own best interest. That sounds great, but I don't feel like. So let me give you all this, and then we're gonna close, right? We have to take the emotion. We have to reorder things. Many of us, this is how we function. When I feel like it, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to have it. No. Let's just throw that away. Let's reorder this thing, right? Decide what you want. I want to love me. I want to walk in self-love. I want to live in a constant state of appreciation for myself. Awesome. Sounds wonderful. So make that decision and then take actions that move you toward that thing, and then you'll feel like it, and then you'll feel it. It's like, I want to love myself, right? But it's like when I feel like I love myself, then I'm going to do things that match up with those feelings of me loving myself. So as soon as I love myself, right? And it's like, no, it's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how anything you want to develop, right? So we have the event this weekend, right? The Unleash Your Inner Rock Star, where we're talking about the power of self-confidence, right? Same thing. You want to be confident in a particular area, decide who you want to be and what a confident version of you looks like in that area. Do the thing that moves you toward it, and then the feeling will come. We're waiting for the feeling before we take the action. And that's why we're stuck. I'm telling you, when that clicked for me, it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to wait. And that's why if you're familiar with me, you'll hear me say, remove feel like from your vocabulary, because feel like is keeping us small, right? I don't even consider that. And when I find myself kind of in my head and dealing with my feelings, I immediately want to take action. I immediately get up and move and do something that moves me, toward the identity that I desire. So if the identity you desire is wrapped in self-love, if that's who you want to be, then we have to start taking actions, right, that align with that. I love me. Okay, then conduct yourself accordingly. You can't wait until you fall madly in love with you to then, right, execute the behaviors that align with you loving yourself. No. Decide that this is the state that you want to live in, and then start making decisions that move you in that direction. And then the feeling comes. The desire, right? And the desire and the decision, right? Then the behavior, right? And then the feeling shows up. We're waiting. We want the feeling to show up so we can do the thing, so we can get the thing. No. Decide that you are the thing, conduct yourself accordingly, and then the feeling will catch up. I hope that makes sense, y'all. So if you want to really love yourself, right, understand that self-love is increased through actions. So again, our is for today is not settling for less than your best. So today, think thoughts that are in your own best interest, right? Speak words that are in your own best interest. And take actions that are in your own best interest. Take actions that move you toward becoming that person you desire to become. All right, let's see here. I have to bail. I'm gonna try to run through these comments real quick. I feel like we're programmed to think self-love makes us selfish. We absolutely are. It's not selfish, it's self-full. I love that. It's self-full. I love that. If we could embody that, it's self-full, understanding that when I'm in my own best interest, right, I'm filling myself up and I'm giving myself what I need, right, so that I can go out, right, so that I can go out and live, so that I can go out and serve, so that I can be the best me. Absolutely. I'm coming to those comments in 1 second, TikTok. Thank y'all. But it's important, okay, my brother, Eric, he said, but it's important to understand that your best one day might not be your best the next day. All you can do is just do your best in the moment. That's my philosophy right there. It's the moment to moment decisions, right? It's moment to moment. So what that means is if I can hit 8 in a row, boom, boom, boom. And then I can fumble, boom, 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 right? But then because I'm basing it on my moment to moment decisions, I don't get too high or too low, right? I'm on a roll now, I can slack off. No. Or I haven't been treating myself kindly and lovingly, and so I'm never going to get there. No. It's just moment to moment decisions. The moment to moment choices that we make. We're acknowledging ourselves, right? Is this in my best interest? Does this move me toward the person that I desire to become? My goal is to become, right? And because my goal is to become this, does this move me in that direction? Yes or no? If it does, boom, make that choice and make that choice. So yes, moment to moment, you're absolutely right. Eric Malik, good morning. I appreciate y'all. So let me jump over here on TikTok. Good morning. All right, let me get to these comments. Let me go back. All right, here we go. Let's see. I actually need self-love. Tap in. I hope you follow, because that's all I talk about. Hey, good morning. Let's see. This is me on my shirt. I'll share more about what this is. This is the best version of you wrapped in there somewhere, right? This is who you are, and this is who you are. And moment to moment, you have to decide which version of you want to present to the world, the absolute best version of you, right? Sometimes this is the best version of me, right? A little scruffy, scarred up with my hoodie on. That's the best me in the moment. Sometimes I clean up nice though, right? So it's embodying who you are, the absolute best version of you, right? There's a greater version of you on the inside screaming to come out. You may be this person, but you want to be this person. You may be this person, but you want to be this person. Or moment to moment, right? You got to switch back and forth. Y'all like that move? She said, no, don't go, Instagram and Facebook, I was on it. It's Reese Inspires on everything. I appreciate you so much. All right, beautiful people, I got to tap out. This was an amazing time. I won't be on this long, going forward, but every morning, 8 a.m. we're tapped in. Self-love is. I just had to give some background this morning on the definition of self-love. So I appreciate y'all. Oh, before I bail, wouldn't be right. I can't neglect. Okay. I don't think I see any comments over here on Facebook. If I do, I'll respond to them. All right, beautiful people, listen. Happy Friday. If you don't know me, every day is Friday in my head. So happy Friday. Go be awesome today. I'm off to do the same. Appreciate y'all.